I'm gonna show you exactly how I turned my house into a home with one simple addition. When we bought this home, it was nothing but bare bones, and literally I can quote from the listing, a handyman's dream. So most of the footage that you actually see, of course, is during the build time, and there's a bit of a difference. You'll notice that the house is blue, we have a stone facing that Rockscapes did, and of course, how lush the garden around this simple do-it-yourself fountainscape kit is out of this world. Now, I knew this was a cute little street, and my wife and I really wanted to turn this into a home. And one of the first things that we did was we added a water feature. We had a ton of construction and a ton of stress just rebuilding an entire home from the inside and out. And right underneath our bedroom window, we knew such an important factor was the sound of nature. So what did we do? We added this beautiful fountainscape. Now I could tell you that the first year it looked a little bit bare. It wasn't as beautiful as it is today, and that's because there's a total difference between new growth and old. And although we carved out this beautiful space for it, it did not look this lush, and we have only filled this thing up 4 times. So I'm going to turn this kit right here into a fountain for my house so me and my family can enjoy. For this project, we actually already did the how to build over on the Rockscapes page, but we wanted to make sure to include it over here on the Aqua Haven page because frankly, we're doing fountains, ponds, and water features here while focusing on the artificial rock there. Step 1 was to actually dig the hole here. Now, let's put our aqua basin in the ground. Step 2 was to actually unbox and bring out the Slate Sphere itself, which came into 3 parts. Just remember, you can buy these kits anywhere on Amazon, use the link below, or of course at Aqua Haven, we supply these, we ship these, we deliver these, and we install these if you want, or we can show you how to install them yourself. And then step 3 was to add the plumbing into the pump, run the cord, hide the cord all the way to the outlet. I will say that the cord is a little small, and we had to actually bring an extension cord to make it all the way. Not a big deal, 100%. Some people actually run electrical straight to the space. We weren't going to do that when we had an outlet only 20 feet away. And then for us, we did something a little extra where we actually scribed the rock. Now, if you were using a real rock, it would be significantly harder, and you would probably actually cut the sphere itself since it's glass reinforced cement. But thankfully, the artificial rock is so easy to work with. I was just able to cut that, set the rock in. I waterfall foamed around the edges so that there would be something that would actually collect water in the back. After the rock was scribed in, the next step was actually just to put gravel all the way around. We did add a bib liner to help make sure that any of the splatter, initially I had this way higher ramped up, but I found that one, it was just a little bit too much. And any time that the wind would blow really hard, sometimes it would blow all the water out of that top, and then it would shoot straight up into the air. And instead of ever having to worry about that, since I'm often away on projects, I just toned it down, let this bubble really nice and neatly, or at a smaller volume. And I've never once had to fill up this basin, other than for when I decide to clean it out. And I've only cleaned it out twice in 5 years. So let's talk maintenance on this thing, because it's actually pretty minimal. We ran our eavesdrop to collect all the rainwater from the roof down into the bottom basin that's under here. Because of the rainwater harvesting hookup, we actually never have to fill this up, which would probably be the main maintenance. The only thing I will say, because of this lush garden all the way around it, after the fall, the debris goes in and it actually decays. So every year what I do is I pull out the pump, I clean the filter, stick it right back in, plug it in, and go. Now twice I found that there's so much muck in the bottom that I've ended up cleaning it out, taking all of the water out, and then putting it back in with hose water. let it recycle. Everything else is fantastic. Other than that, we haven't had to do anything. Occasionally, not since all the moss is grown, but there is a brown algae that will grow onto this. I actually like it. It's almost like a patina, but my wife doesn't. So we each have our different tastes, and I do scrub that off on occasion. It's usually when we get really hot summers and not a lot of rain. And since this year has been a lot of rain, a lot of new water coming in, flushing out the system, everything's been a-okay. I will say my favorite part of this entire thing is getting to sleep with my window open. It's super relaxing. It's just the perfect amount of water to gently relax you to sleep. And I find that I sleep with my window open far more often than not. You could probably hear the train in the background. It actually does an okay job of washing that out and creating that beautiful white noise that nature intended you to have. So one of the biggest reasons why I even put this here, not just for the relaxation of my bedroom window and our Airbnb's bedroom window, but I really wanted to test to make sure that this product was as good as everybody says, right? Don't sell something to a customer without knowing the ability for it to hold up and what it's capable of. I've ran this every single winter for the last 5 years. Not only has it held up, it's been wonderful. It's absolutely gorgeous during the winter. It's actually some of my favorite ice sculptures that are constantly evolving. My original envision was that this would be a little bit of a side waterfall. That was beautiful for a few years, but once the moss started taking hold, I actually wanted more and more of the moss. I want this whole thing covered in moss at some point, so it's more weeping and it helps with the filtration. You can see the water is crystal clear, and I like that. I want that. So right now what I've done is tilted it forward just slightly and allowed that moss to take over. So there's just a tiny little dribble going into the back, keeping everything wet. And then it's taken a life on its own, and it's created this beautiful little shroud drip edge. It's keeping everything super lush. How gorgeous is that? We have our own little ecosystem. You can see the moss is growing all over the place. Kids, neighborhood kids absolutely love this space. They come up and they play. And we make sure that we have this warm and inviting open space that kids actually can play and dogs can get a drink. My own Great Dane absolutely loves it because it's the perfect height at 36 inches for her to drink out of without having to bend down. Sometimes it even attracts things like the skunk, and I'm not overly fond of the skunks because my dog has actually been sprayed 3 times by these friendly critters. One last super important thing is make sure to like and subscribe if you are enjoying these videos or find any value into them. We would love to hear your thoughts. We would love to get to build more of these projects for you around our own properties, around your properties, whatever it is. We want to keep building them. We have a blast doing so. Another important part is make sure to check out our other videos and the ones in the future, because we are going to be building some very cool things. I think you're really going to like the next project. It is incredible. I'm also going to be doing some how-to videos so you can actually know how to install things like an auto doser, an autofill, a biofall, skimmer. These are all coming in the future. We're making sure to try and show you and help the do-it-yourselfer to make sure you can have your own ecosystem pond and enjoy every part of it without having to worry about the training or the how-tos. YouTube is an education tool, and we want to help you with that.